Grinding gear games is full of mad people. And I'm not saying that just because it makes for a good title, because I'm still not sure if I will even use that in the title. I'm saying that because a small developer like Grinding Gear Games managed to make a hack-and-slash RPG that's so good it rivals Blizzard's Diablo and is for many people far superior to it, but also because of their newest update, Fall of Oriath, which just dropped yesterday. Now, this video will obviously have spoilers from Fall of Oriath, so if you don't want to be spoiled in any way, shape or form, you should probably close the video right now. Hack-and-slash RPGs and games of similar nature usually have one thing in common. They make you play through their content multiple times, which kind of makes them appear longer than they actually are. The games are usually split into acts or episodes, and you have somewhere between 3 to 5 acts. Once you finish all the acts or episodes, you are usually just plonked back at the start, and you have to play the game again on a higher difficulty. The enemies are tougher, but so is your character, so it feels somewhat similar to your first playthrough, and once you finish that, you are once again plonked back at the start with an even higher difficulty, and that's usually the end game, quote-unquote. And I'm saying that because that's not really the case anymore, because developers realize that these games need different kinds of end game than just doing the same thing for the third time, and they started to incorporate other types of end game, which for Path of Exile, for an example, is the map system, which I like a lot. But the thing is, in the vast majority of cases, these systems are still locked at the end of the third or fourth or even fifth playthrough. So you still have to play through the game 3 times before you get to the end game. And this is why I said that Grinding Gear Games is full of mad people, because their newest update, Fall of Oriath, changed that completely. They removed all difficulty settings, and instead of having 3 or 4 acts that you play through 3 times, they gave us 10 acts that you play once, and that's it. Well, not quite. Part 2, which is Acts 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, are technically Acts 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But once again, not quite, because the time has advanced. You are revisiting these places rather than playing through the exact same thing again. So the locations are different, the things you do in these locations are different, and the enemies in many cases are different as well. So it feels different, and each act has new locations that you visit, and Act 10 even has a different hub. You start off at a different place. Act 9 is very different as well. There are some similar locations, but the way you progress through it is completely different to Act 4. Now, this is of course really good for us the players, because we don't have to play through the same game 3 times with the difficulty increasing every time you do so. But it's also an incredibly smart thing by GGG, because I talked about this yesterday on stream when I was waiting, for the servers to come back up, because there were about 15,000 people trying to log in at the same time, and the servers weren't really happy about that. And I am happy to say, by the way, that this has been fixed. I have had no issues today. So I was talking about this on stream, and the chat confirmed that I'm not the only person that feels this way. Because there is a moment when you finish each difficulty and you're standing at the beginning ready to do the whole thing again, where you stop and you think, do I really want to do this again? And that moment, even if you do go forward and you do it again, that moment where you stop and think about it is a moment where you can stop. And this gets rid of that completely. Because it's not you standing at the start thinking about doing the whole thing again on a higher difficulty. It's you standing there going, ooh, Act 6, let's go. And that's how you do it. That's how you keep people playing. Now, if it wasn't obvious already, I use the word mad in relation to GGG as sort of a step up from brilliant, because this is nothing short of brilliant. And I wasn't kidding when I said that this one update moved the entire hack-and-slash and looter genre forward. It did, because every time someone wants to make a hack-and-slash RPG now, they have to look at Path of Exile and go, well, we can't be lazy and do the 3 difficulty settings. We actually have to make a big game, otherwise we're just gonna lose to Path of Exile. And they probably still will, because Path of Exile is an incredibly deep game that has amazing developers behind it with a very fair free-to-play model. So, making a game better than Path of Exile now is gonna be incredibly hard, but it will push developers to do something better. It can't just be the same shite, just shat from a different anus like it was up until now. Just 3 acts with 3 different difficulties, so you have to play through them over and over and over again. Bish bash bosh, that's it, Bob's your uncle. They will have to make something new, something fresh, something exciting that will grab people's attention. Now, these new acts aren't the only thing the Fall of Oriath update introduced. It also introduced the Pantheon system, which I'm not quite sure how you unlock just yet, because if you finish the entire game prior to this update, like my witch did, it auto-completes all the mandatory quests for all 10 acts. But from what I understand, there is this new NPC called Sin, who is this very Angel of Death, edgy-looking dude, who sends you out to kill gods and bosses, and you can then absorb their power and gain benefits based on which god you choose. So it's another way to customize your character on top of the massive skill tree, the incredibly in-depth gem and skill system, and, gear in general. So yeah, GGG is just full of mad people. I absolutely love what they did here, and I hope they will continue supporting Path of Exile the way they did up until now, because this is one of the best free-to-play games out there. And I think I've been rambling for long enough, so I hope you've enjoyed the video. You can find Path of Exile on Steam. It is free to play, and the payment model is really good. You're basically just buying extra tabs for your stash where you can store items, and swag. You can buy skins for abilities or skins for armor. And pets and wings and all that bollocks. So I thank you very much for watching, as always, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.